Ladies and gentlemen, this is part of a never-ending series that I am going to name the Dildo Prophecies by Michael Fazio. And let me explain to you what we're going to do today before we do it. I'm going to show you how a nuclear detonation works according to pictures in the encyclopedias that are online. I am also going to show you what a rocket blast-off looks like via a picture snapshot of the space shuttle blasting off and the exhaust from the space shuttle itself and how it is ejected from the bell housing. And then we are going to move into one of the 3,300 pictographs that appear on the obverse and reverse of the $1 bill depicting a liftoff or a blast-off of a nuclear weapon as part of a prophetic prophecy created and placed on the $1 bill 7,000 years ago. And to prove it to you, there's going to be the initials EU on the blast-off, because when the EU or European Union takes over America after Mr. Obama destroys this once great country, the prophecies of Michael Fazio have already come true. In my video I made last May 22nd called Two Nukes that Obama was going to be responsible for on his watch, and that link will be underneath. Don't forget to favor this video and embed it, because I'm sure they're not going to let me keep it up. Now, aside from the fact of showing you how a nuclear detonation works and how a rocket works, and the pictographs on the $1 bill that depict both of these, I am going to show you a three-dimensional construct, again from encyclopedia diagrams, of how a real nuclear detonation is depicted on the $1 bill. So let's get started here. This, what you are looking at on your screen, and I'm going to zoom in and then give you the highlights, is a picture of the space shuttle blasting off. And if you'll notice, there's an ejection from the bell housing itself. This is the missile body, because for all intent and purposes it's a missile, and this is the space shuttle. And just by chance I happen to be doing the Dildo Prophecies today, and today is the day that the space shuttle took off for the last time. Now I'm going to minimize this, and I am going to show you a picture of a real nuclear detonation. This is a real bomb, and I am showing it to you because if you will notice that the missile head has what is called in it towards the top the primary. This is the initiator that sets off a charge around the inside perimeter where the U-235, uranium-235, is injected into another piece of uranium-235, so that in order that the neutrons can't escape fast enough, this is called an impact design or a bullet design nuclear detonation. And the innuendos of it are not so important as the fact that what you have is a primary pushing one piece of U-238 into another piece, U-235 into another piece, in order that the neutrons can't escape fast enough. And when that happens, fission does not take place, but a detonation does take place. Now, that is a nuclear depiction of a real warhead. And here is a nuclear depiction of a warhead that has been detected and depicted on the reverse of the $1 bill. And in order to make this nuclear detonation, you take half the pyramid or the God pod segment of the bill and half the eagle or the evil seed of death part of the bill, and this part of the pyramid is the primary. Then you have the secondary, where the U-235 would have been in the depiction of the encyclopedia depiction, And then, in order to transport that weapon or bullet-type nuclear device, you would need a rocket. And this eagle's wings would depict the rocketry or the rocket's ability to mobilize the weapon where you decide and or direct the thrust coming from the rocket engines. This would be the rocket engine. This would be the bell housing that directs the thrust, let us say. And this is a depiction of the thrust or energy that is coming out of the rocket, which is also a depiction of a nuclear detonation. Now this segment here on the right hand side is the letters EU upside down. So let us rotate this bill for a moment, and then you will see that the rocket can travel or traverse horizontally or vertically, but let us rotate it one more time, and now you see the letters EU as in European Union. However, when you see these letters EU, the pictograph, if you will notice, the pictograph is a nuclear weapon or detonation heading downwards towards Earth. It is no longer pointed upwards towards the sky as has been previously denoted for nuclear weapons. When the European Union takes over, on Obama's watch, that has already been predicted by Michael Fazio that 2 nuclear detonations would take place, or dirty bombs, or some sort of nuclear catastrophes would take place on the Obama watch. You will be dildo-burged on a scale that you have never been able to comprehend. Because although you don't believe that there is an evil cabal behind all of this, it has been depicted in pictographs on the $1 bill 7,000 years ago by an entity or series of entities that, whether or not you choose to believe it, have been in charge of every aspect of our government and every aspect of every religion and philosophy on this planet for the last 300 million years. But in fact, their last prophetic prophecy that they placed upon earth for all of man is the depictions of the 3,300 pictographs on the bill, because somehow this entity or remnant society that has existed on this world and created life on this world has the ability to see the future, or in fact is God, or in fact is God-like, and to which end no one will ever know the difference, except that 1,000 years from now they will say that crazy bastard from Howard Beach figured all of this out by himself, without help, without the use of any other thing other than his mind. And moving past that, let us zoom in a little bit, and we're going to rotate the bill back in a moment. So what you have here is a nuclear detonation being thrusted downward, and now the entity that represents the detonation itself is pushing the nuclear warhead into the ground or towards the ground. And the European Union, once that takes over control of America with Obama or the Abomination, that is when all of this will occur. Now let's move past this. We're going to rotate it back up once again and one more time, and I'm going to move this over. And this is a depiction of something that, although you might not want to believe exists, this is the entrance into King Solomon's temple, half on this side and half on that side. And these black dots right here and here and here and here and here and here are really methods to move a set of dividers around on the bill itself in order to move you from one part of King Solomon's temple or the Ark of the Covenant to the other. Doesn't matter what you believe, that's the truth, ladies and gentlemen. And to this day, no one has been able to discern or prove differently. I only have a little bit of time left, so we're going to bring you to the end of this video, where Michael Fazio states that in fact all of this has been predicted and placed in a series of pictographs and described in my book, aka Angels on the Ark, in great detail. In fact, 1,990 pages of details, along with part of my life story, because I never thought they would let me live this long once I put this information out to the planet Earth. And at this point, ladies and gentlemen, the Zionists don't want me to be famous, otherwise they would have already bought my idea, but I need to get a bigger camera.